You're now listening to the C&M Sports Card Talk Show. This isn't just another boring sports card podcast. Here, we'll be covering the good, the bad, and the ugly sides of collecting sports cards. Now, let's get to it. Play ball.
Hello and welcome again to another episode of the C&M Sports Card Talk Show. I'm your host, Marcus, and again with me today is my co-host, Christian.
Hey.
All right, so we've got a good episode for you today. What we're going to look into today would be, it's going to be really simple and something that we're going to discuss about things we wish we would have known when we first got into the hobby. So this is tips for beginner collectors. So Christian, the first topic I want to get into right now is it's not really in any particular order what I'm going with, but the first thing that comes to mind, it's just because of today's hobby is now geared more towards making money. So for me, the first thing I would ask myself if I'm going to get into this hobby, because it is expensive, if you really want to go, get deep and, collect, like really collect. So are you in this hobby? The first thing I would ask somebody is, are you going to be in this hobby to collect or to make money? So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, for me, if you ask me that, if somebody or you or, somebody else is, ask me anywhere, I would tell them that I'm in it to collect. Sure, it's, I know a lot of people, in it for the money and they don't really care, but, for me, I found more value in collecting because, like we, hit on in a previous episode, holding something over the long term, you're going to have more value in it if you just held it for 3 to 6 months or, whatever the market's doing. And that's what I tell a lot of beginners, that's getting into the hobby is, don't get in it for the money. Start out, collect what you want. And if you really, really want to get into it really, really hard and, pursue it, because there is a lot of money in it, then you can start looking at different avenues to go down, who to collect and stuff like that, to make your money. But for any beginners, I would just tell them just to keep it simple and to collect what you want. What are your thoughts on
that? Yeah, I'm basically right there with you. How I started out was obviously I wanted to collect. So my advice would be go into this hobby with the mindset to collect, because that way, if your mindset is to collect first, you're going to want to learn more. You're going to be wanting to invest more of yourself in this. You're going to want to, it's just kind of hard to explain just because I have so many thoughts on this. So basically you would want to expand because you have so many favorite players. I mean, obviously you don't have many favorite teams. You probably have 1 or 2 teams at most, maybe 3. But I think personally, if you get into this hobby, you need to begin with just collecting, because you're going to build that base, the foundation of your collection. So mine was baseball. If you build a foundation, there's no telling where it could go. You could say, I want to start with baseball, and then once you start learning more, you're going to see there's more more in this hobby than just say regular baseball cards. You're going to be like, whoa, there's jersey cards. Now there's autograph cards. And then you're going to find yourself with a bigger collection, and it's just great to see the collection that you've built. You'll see all your favorite players sitting right there in front of you, and I think that's better than selling, to be honest, because money's temporary,
Exactly.
and I like to collect players that mean something to me. Like my favorite football team is the Chiefs, so obviously I have Patrick Mahomes, I have Travis Kelsey, I have Tyreek Hill up there, I have some like Priest Holmes stuff, Dante Hall, you know, Dwayne Bowe. I mean, I got lots of guys from the Chiefs. So, and then if I want to expand that and make it a little broader, favorite players from all sports. I got over here Peyton Manning, DeAndre Hopkins, Clayton Kershaw, Patrick Mahomes again, Aroldis Chapman, Derek Jeter. I mean, I'm just looking at the wall right here. I mean, there's so
Right.
many things. So I think it's more enjoyable to me to collect, but if you're really wanting to get in it for selling, I think it'll speak to you more if you just collect and be like, okay, my collection's getting a little too big. Uh, Maybe at some point you may want to sell some. But for me, what happened to me was I kind of made a mistake a long time ago of I thought I saw deals out there like, oh, this is too good to be true, and I get suckered into it. Next thing I know, I had uh, I forgot how many I had 70,000 just common cards from like the late '80s, early '90s. At that point, I had no idea. I had no idea because I didn't do my research.
Yeah, because those
Uh,
are basically worth nothing. You know.
exactly. I mean, I literally could not give those cards away.
I know.
I
Yeah.
tried so hard. I even offered $20 a tub, and
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
know.
I think each tub had 10,000 cards in it. Uh, but yeah, so I think, or my advice would be to get into collecting first, and then once you develop that knowledge, I mean, you can develop knowledge with going into uh, first with the mindset of flipping cards, but
Right.
I think
And
you're gonna lack some of that inside knowledge of what the collectors know.
yeah, I want to hit real quick on what you said about the '80s and '90s cards.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine. I went to his house and he was showing me all these '80s and '90s cards, and he goes, "Man," he goes, "look at all these cards," and he goes, "Man, I mean," he goes, "Man, this is a lot of money right here," you know, and I didn't want to.
If he
I
only
didn't
knew.
want, yeah, exactly. I didn't want to come off being mean or anything like that. I said, man, I hate to be, I hate to break it to you, but these carbs aren't worth anything. He
Mhm.
goes, are you serious? I
Maybe a
said,
penny a
yeah.
piece.
I said, you can, yeah, exactly. Penny a piece. I said, just there, it's just overproduction, and the Marcos is flooded, and they're just not worth anything. And you could just tell that his stomach just dropped. He was just like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I thought I had something, but and a lot of people don't know what they have until you do your research, and that's the most important thing for what I would tell beginners is to do your research and to collect. Stay away from the selling aspect. Do
Yeah,
those two things first.
I agree with you right there. All right. So, speaking of like, unvaluable cards, let's go to valuable. So, whenever you have a card that you deem valuable or is valuable by researching it through Beckett or eBay, recent sales, uh, another tip that we want to give is to only send these cards in to the reputable graders, such as Beckett or PSA DNA. Um, I can't tell you how much I really want to stress this. Whenever I first got in this hobby, I made the big mistake of, I mean, all I saw was a 10 and it said Gem Mint on it. I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea that the company was the thing to go for, actually, if you're going for like the high grades. I saw Gem Mint on a BCCG, and I had no idea that is like one of the lowest companies that you can go for. I mean, it is Beckett. I think it's Beckett Collectors Club.
Yeah, it's kind of like their
Um,
brother in a sense.
yeah, it's really cheap to get graded, and basically everything comes back a Gem 10.
Hmm.
Uh, but if you're going to go and grade your card, for you beginners that don't know what grading is, it's basically you send in your card. They look at four different aspects: the surface, the edges, the corners, and the
And
center.
centering. Hmm.
Yes, and so they grade all four of those, and then they give you an overall grade, which is the average of those four. Um, and then once they give you that grade, they encapsulate it in this hard plastic case, and then they put a little slab, a little ticket with the name of the card, all the information the card plus the grade, and they'll send it back to you. Now it's encapsulated, it's protected, uh, and basically that card will. I mean, that's its final resting place. Basically, it's in that case. So what grade it has, that's what cards you have. There's no changing that. I mean, you can break it open, send it back in again, but we don't recommend that. You're going to hurt the card, most likely.
Right.
But my opinion and my suggestion is to only send these cards in to either Beckett Grading Services or PSA DNA. Uh, or I guess I should say PSA. So I may be wrong there. It's been a while since I've even talked about PSA, but I would only send to these two. Um, I like them both. There's big differences between the two. What are your thoughts on these two companies, or do you have any more companies you'd recommend or stay away from?
Yeah, I know. One you didn't mention was GMA. I see a lot of GMA graded cards on eBay as well.
Hmm.
And I want to hit on real quick. Um, a lot of people see, a BCC G10 or a GMA 10, and they think that is comparable to a PSA and a Beckett 10.
Hmm.
Well, it's not. You know, what you guys need to realize is that um, a GMA or BCC G10 is basically it's probably going to be a 7 of a PSA and a Beckett. It's because like you hit on it, those grading companies are a lot less stricter than PSA and Beckett. Um,
Hmm.
but for sure, you want to go with the two big ones, PSA and Beckett. Um, I have noticed with a lot of autographs and relic cards, you're going to want to go with Beckett, and with PSA cards that are vintage. I noticed that PSA is a lot more lenient on vintage cards than Beckett is. You can get higher
Yeah.
grades through PSA than you will with Beckett. And for PSA that are some of your higher end cards that don't really necessarily have autos or relics, I would go with PSA. So that's kind of my two differences. And then if you want subgrades on a card, you're going to want to go with Beckett because Beckett they give you subgrades on that card. They'll give you like a 9.5 for centering, a 9.5 for edges, a 9 for corners, and then a 9.5 for surface, where PSA doesn't. So and I think recently, PSA recently just started grading autographs. I think so. I have seen some cards on
I think
eBay
you're right.
that are graded through PSA that have autographs, and it will say autograph grade like a 10 or 9 or whatever. So, but that's um, that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Yeah, you're right. I did see that PSA started grading autographs a while back. I still prefer Beckett
Yes,
if you're going to get an autograph because the difference is, I mean, honestly, their slabs look so much better.
they
I
do.
mean, they're gold, brass, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, and they're separated too, which shows there's a difference. the card grades a 9.5, and it'll give you all the subgrades. And then a slab right next to it, it's separated. It's not in the same slab. It'll say 10 autograph. You know,
Right. And
I think it's cool to separate that.
yeah, and I like the Beckett cases better. It seems like they're more put together because PSA cases, they're just real thin and you can crack them open real easily and stuff. So, um,
Yeah, it's funny you actually mentioned that. I was thinking that just the other day because I picked up two cards. I picked up one VGS, one PSA, and I was like, man, this PSA card, this encapsulation just looks cheap if whenever
yeah,
you put it next to a BGS because it's thicker, it has nice edges. I mean, even the slabs. I mean, has depth to it. I mean, it just looks so much better than the
right.
PSA.
And one quick thing I want to hit on with the grading companies, people may not know, um, to send your cards in, you have to pay for the cards, and how that is it how they base whenever you send your cards in, how they base that off of what they base that off of is the value of your card. So if you have like a I don't know a $25 card and you want to send that in, you may only pay I don't know 10-15 bucks to get it graded. But if you want to send in $1,000 card, that's worth $1,000. You're going to pay a lot more. So, uh, but I recommend not sending in cards that are worth less than $100. Um, but each to their own. But that's just my opinion. If you're wanting to make money, because if you send in a car that's worth $75 and you're paying, I don't know, $10 to $15, well, basically, that card is already down to $60. So really, you're only making plus shipping too. You got to pay shipping as well. So you're probably paying $25 all together, maybe $25-$30.
Plus
Um,
insurance.
oh yeah, I forgot about insurance as well. So yeah, so basically, you send a $75 card in, you're basically spending $35 to $40 on that card. Well, then you turn around and sell it for $75. Well, you're only making 30 $35. There's no point. So that's kind of what I recommend on that.
Yeah. And also my recommendation is if you're going to send in just a regular card, nothing special about it, just like I say, like just a base card, I would send that to PSA.
Hmm.
And if you're going to send a card that has an autograph, send that in the BGS because you're
Yep.
going to get, I mean, now that PSA has, they do their autograph grading, I still don't like the look. I
I
love the BGS look over the PSA any
I do
day.
too. It's just a lot cleaner look.
It
So
is. Yeah. All right. So the next topic we want to get into, which is one that I really want to stress, is to research the value of cars before you buy. Uh, the reason I say that is because I made a huge mistake when I got back into the hobby, and that was this. I didn't research the value of the cards before I bought. Uh, I don't have a dollar figure, but I can tell you I lost a lot of money because I would just go out and buy cards that I liked. Uh, I didn't really research any history, any trends going on. I just saw, you know, a value that I could afford at the moment, and I didn't look at what brand, what was hot, what was cold. Uh, what's your experience in that?
yeah, I mean, I've done that. Um, I bought a car that I just really wanted. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to buy something that day. So, I go ahead and buy it, and I'll wait, and I'll look at the prices, I don't know, a month and 2 months later, and the prices drop. I'm like, dang it. I could have just been patient and waited another month or two and the prices had dropped, and it's just like going into a card shop. You see these cards and the prices and stuff like that. You go in there and might see a Patrick Mahomes rookie card and the guy's got it listed for 300. You're like, dang, that's really, really cheap, because Patrick Mahomes, he just won the Super Bowl, he's the MVP,
Mm-hmm.
they're saying he might be the next Tom Brady. You're like, $300, that is a bargain, so I'm going to offer him, 275. Okay, you buy the card, you take that card home, and you're like, oh man, what's the brand of this card? Oh, I thought this card was going to be high dollar online. It says Patrick Mahomes on it. Well, this is a brand I've never even heard of. What? These cars are only selling for $100 online? Dang it! See, and that's what people get caught up in. They get caught up in, you know, um,
The
you
hype
know,
of the name a lot of the times.
exactly. So, yep, I cannot stress that enough. Definitely do your research before you go out and just buying all sorts of cards.
Yeah, and another thing I was going to say is research the trends of this card. Whatever you want, look at completed listings. Look at what this card has sold for in the past leading up to the present day. Is it going up? Is it going down? Or is it staying around the same?
Right,
You
and
know,
there's always reasons why a card is dropping or why a card is rising. If
hmm
you look back, I'm just going to use Derek Jeter example. If
All
you
right.
if you if you look back at his '93 Topps card back in January, February sold, you could have bought those for under $200. But now, here we are 5 months later, Hall of Fame is coming up. His prices have just skyrocketed. So you gotta look at that stuff. What's happening out in the world and in sports. What's going on. What are the trends? So
Yeah, same. I was just going to throw a another example out there. Uh, this guy, it really didn't, change all that much like we thought. I actually hopped on him before uh, his price went up a little, uh, which is Christian McCaffrey. He signed, the largest, he's now the most highly paid running back ever. Uh, how long ago was that? I can't remember.
I don't know, a couple of months ago.
Um, so yeah, so basically, I hopped on that bandwagon, and a while back, and now he's the highest paid running back, and his price barely went up, barely.
Hmm.
And I'm like, how in the world can his price barely go up? And then Patrick Mahomes over here, the Donruss Optic card that you had, you got for what was it, 200, and then now it's like closing in on $900.
Yes,
How in the world can a running back barely go up, but a quarterback skyrocket? That's
it's
another
ridiculous.
topic if you want to get into that.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, that's definitely a topic that that basically we can talk on all day long on that.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's a topic for another day. But see, you got to be careful. So obviously in football, from what we've seen, quarterbacks are the players to go for, hands
Yes.
down, hands down. Like Tom Brady, like I mean, his rookie cards now are almost unobtainable
Yeah,
to the common, the average Joe. Like, there's
yeah,
no way that they're getting
yeah,
his card.
and that's just any of his rookie cards. That's the lowest of the of his rookie card that they're selling for over 200-300 bucks. Just,
Yeah.
just it's just crazy.
hmm
So, but you know, kind of like we hit on, it's just all speculation. So definitely do your homework before you go out and buy these different players and different cards and whatnot.
So, how do you protect your cards? What do you do to protect your cards?
So basically, what I do is anything under $5, I'll put them in just leave them in penny sleeves. Anything that's usually over a $10 value, what I'll do is I'll put them in a penny sleeve and in a top loader. And then anything that's really, really high dollar, I'll put them in a magnetic case. They're a little bit more expensive, but I mean, you can't, basically the card's indestructible because it's in a plastic case. Any autos, I don't care who it is, any autos, relic cards, and serial number cards, I will put in a penny sleeve and a top loader, just because even though they may not have a whole lot of value, but they are a lot rarer than just a common card of any player. So that's kind of what I do on my cards.
Yeah, for me, it's basically the same. For base cards like rookies, I automatically, Bowman first, rookies automatically penny sleeve. Um, and if I have enough top loaders, obviously I'll just slide them in there. But typically I have top loaders to put all those in. So rookies, penny sleeve, top loader every time, and then I put them in a box, or like in one of those long rectangle boxes, the
Right,
storage
right.
boxes.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. Same thing with a like a relic card, jersey card, whatever you want to call it. Um, penny sleeve and top loader. Those are the bigger top loaders. Um, so if it's anything big, sorry, autographs, same thing, penny sleeve, top loader. If it's something like really high end, I like to display them.
Hmm.
So say if I have like a Peyton Manning rookie, it's just a base card. I'll put those in like the hard magnetic cases. It just looks cleaner that way, I think. It just has a really nice look to it. Um, Same thing with like the jersey cards. If it's a really nice one, magnetic case. Um, it's just really simple how to protect your cards, guys. It's basically if you put it in a penny sleeve, you're not going to scratch it. You're still gonna, run the possibility of bending it, messing up some edges and corners. So if it's a card you really want to hold on to or someday sell, put it in a top loader. Um, what you don't want to do is put it in those 9 card plastic.
Binders.
Yeah,
Binders.
yeah, yeah, those. Yeah, I mean, what know how to like what are those even called?
Three ring
um,
binder. Three ring binder.
no, I mean the actual pages.
Oh, yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
just
Just
pulling a blank.
yeah.
Anyway, it's those clear pages where you put their fit 9 cards into. Uh, those are bad for your cards. Do not put your cards in those. Over time, that plastic is going to stick to your card, and you have to pull the plastic away to unstick it from your card. And this has happened to me. I left some cards in there for too long, and it rips the card, like parts of the card off. So it looks like somebody just, scraped it on some gravel.
Yep.
Yeah, so just don't do that. So it's really easy to protect your cards. It really is. It's very straightforward.
Yeah, and you can buy those at any retail store, any local card
Hmm.
shop, or you can even buy them at vintage stock. If you have one of those available too as well. And I've noticed that vintage stock is a lot cheaper than retail or buying them online or
Really?
whatnot. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
they're typically like higher for cards, but that's
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yep,
wow. Huh. Interesting. That's good to know.
yep.
I learned something today. Uh, so oh yeah, this is a good point right here. Avoid impulse buying. Have you ever
Oh,
uh, bought on your impulse?
oh yeah. I just see something hot. I get on eBay and I just click that buy button. I don't even care what the price is. I just do because I want to jump on that bandwagon.
You better say,
Uh,
Shelby, I'm sorry.
yeah, 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 exactly. Uh, um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just whenever I see something and I really want it, I don't care what the price is. Like I said, I just click that buy button and buy it. I've done that multiple times. I bought uh, uh, a CUNA card. I just went ahead and just bought. I bought if you guys don't know, I mostly collect baseball, but I'll do other sports. But I've gone out and bought multiple Acuna cards just because he's one of the top players in baseball right now to collect, and I've just gone out and just bought different of his different cards, and just I don't care what the prices are. I just want to jump on that bandwagon. So because I feel like if I don't jump on it now, I'm gonna miss out. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah. I actually remember you texted me all that. It was just like for like the next, couple of weeks, it was just like Acuna, 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 and you were like, "Oh, I got it for this much." You're like, "Oh yeah, but it's going to get up this high," and then
yeah.
like, man, it was just like every card that you could find of him. It was just like, "I got it, I got it."
Yeah, yeah. I was just jumping on that bandwagon. So I was like, man, if I don't get it now, the prices are just going to keep going up. So, but I will say, I'm glad I bought it then because prices have rise. So I've been right so far.
Yeah, but the thing you actually did your research uh,
Exactly.
before you went on him. But the point of this is don't impulse buy just because you think you're getting a good deal or you like the player. Uh, so just like what he did, say if okay, say he spent $1,000 on these cards. I mean, he didn't,
Yeah.
but say he spent $1,000 on these cards, and then this card of Acuna comes up that is just out of his price range, and it's a card that he needs to jump on right now because it's like the last one, or something's about to happen where his value is just about to skyrocket, and this thing is going to be worth like 2 grand, and you just bought 20 of his cards, and you spent $1,000, and then now you don't have enough money to buy this one card that's going to be worth double this just with one card. I've
Exactly.
I've ran into this before so many times. Like, man, I'm getting a good deal. I mean, I'm a big collector of Aroldis Chapman. I've always liked him. He's a big lefty pitcher. I think I like him because my favorite pitcher of all time is Randy Johnson. I loved watching him growing up, and so I think Chapman's just a good transition into like the my favorite modern pitcher right now. So I mean, I probably have every rookie card of his ever, lots of printing plates and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I ran into that. I bought a lot of his stuff back in the day. And then there were some big cards of his that came out, and I wasn't able to get them because I spent all my money on these, the cheap base cards. I mean, now I have every base card of his, but I don't have that one big card that trumps all those little cards easily.
Right. And I can't stress it enough. Do not go out and put a lot of money in prospects. Don't do it. It's a huge mistake. 3 to 5% of those prospects will become good MLB players.
You said
The
3 to 5?
probably so.
Okay.
Would you not agree?
I mean, I know it's a low percentage. I just didn't know
I
if you actually
mean,
looked that up or not. But I mean
no.
that
That's just
that
my
sounds
assumption.
really accurate
Uh,
because most of these guys coming up, I mean, just like you said, 3 to 5%. Most of these guys coming up, they have all this hype, but only one out of that class, maybe two, are actually going to be household names.
exactly. And
Everybody else are just going to be they're just going to be in the lineup, or they're going to be on the AAA team forever.
right. And you know, I want to use Jason Dominguez as a example. He is the top prospect for the New York Yankees right now. He is 17 years old. He has never played in the minor leagues. He has no MLB stats whatsoever at all. But I seen a couple weeks ago that an autograph card of him sold for $16,000. Why? Why is his card selling for $16,000? It was
I
a
remember you
green.
showing me that.
It was a green refractor out of 99. 17 years old and his card is selling that much. Why? A Derek Jeter a Derek Jeter rookie card's not even selling that much, and he's already in the Hall of Fame. And you're going to have a 17-year-old kid's card sell for that much? I just don't. I don't get it. Sometimes this hobby is just it's backwards,
It really
and
is.
and like we hit on before, it's just all speculation, and and people think, oh man, this player, he's just going to be, the next Derek Jeter, the next, Mike Trout, the next Mickey Mantle. And you don't know. Sure, you might think that, but nobody knows. And
Hmm.
it just fathoms me how some of the prices on these cards. So do not, do not, say it again, do not go out there and buy all these different prospects and pump a lot of money into them. Do your
Yep.
homework, do your research. I cannot say that enough. So I've seen too many people make mistakes like that, and I have made a few mistakes in myself, and I've learned over the years that don't jump on that bandwagon. Just don't do it. Even though you want to, just wait. Just wait, because the longer you wait, let's say the player's card's $500 and you really want that player, you wait 6 months, he's not doing very good in the majors, his card's going to drop down to 250. Well, guess what? Next year, there's always next year. He does good next year. His card's going to jump back up to $500. Then you can take that money and sell it if you want to. You just doubled your money. Then you can take that money and buy a card that you really, really want, or a player that you really, really want to invest in. So,
Yeah. Uh, I'm right there with you because just like you said, a 17-year-old kid, he has proven absolutely nothing.
yeah,
I mean, sure, he's a phenom. Who knows? He has so much potential, but he's not proven in the pros. Even the
exactly.
minors, I mean, those are the pros, but not the show. So, I mean, there's so much that can happen. So much that can happen. So that guy that spent 16 grand on that card, you know, Dominguez could go out and blow his elbow, or he could, I mean, something.
Blows
Anything
his
can
knee,
happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
blow his knee out, or and I've seen videos of him just hitting bombs in batting practice. But what
Yeah.
people don't realize is any minor league, any major league player, heck, even college players and batting practice, they're hitting bombs all day long.
Yep.
But can you take that and apply it between the lines? That's the biggest question. Can you apply it between the lines?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I'm almost without words on, how much people spend on prospects. It's almost sickening.
yeah,
16 grand on an unproven kid. It's all hype. Sure, he's great at what he's done so far, but I mean, I mean, this guy took a huge risk. Just think, guys, he spent 16 grand on this one piece of cardboard. Doesn't even have his autograph on it. Okay. It's just, wait, was it his autograph?
yeah, it was,
Okay.
yeah, it
Okay.
did have it did have his auto on it.
Okay. Still, it's a piece of cardboard with some ink on it now
You can
of
go,
some kid, an unproven guy that he's he has hopes of making it to the majors. You know,
yeah,
unproven, and so this 16 grand is now invested in this one little piece of cardboard. This 16 grand could have been a down payment on a house.
yeah.
It could have been a little car. It could have been so much more. But no, now all that money is tied into that one little piece of cardboard. It takes one little hiccup, one a little anything, that 16 grand gone.
For me personally, if I had $16,000 laying around, I would go out. I would buy me a bunch of Mike Trout cards, Mickey Mantles, King Griffey Jr., Michael Jordan, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, just all these players that Derek Jeter. There's all these players that have already proven themselves, because those cards are going to hold their values.
Yeah.
Like we said, these prospects, the values might be up now, but what are they going to be in 5 to 10 years? We don't know. So,
We really
um,
don't.
like we said, it's all speculation.
It
So,
is. It is.
so
Let's see here. So, whenever you go out and buy cards, specifically boxes, are there specific boxes that you like more than others, or boxes that you would recommend over others?
as as in
Like
like
Blaster,
retail.
retail,
Okay.
hobby.
I have noticed with retail, blasters are a waste of money. I would go after fat packs or CeeLo packs. You almost get more bang for your buck, but you do run in to the issue of pack searching. People will come in and they'll search the packs, and basically, they'll fill the packs and stuff. And if you buy one of those packs that somebody had pack searched, then you run in the risk of damaged edges or corners or whatnot. Um, that's kind of what I found at retail. So that's kind of why retail is a cheaper option. But if you're wanting to get a little bit more higher end stuff and know that you are going to get guaranteed hits, and that that nobody's going to be messing with your the product or whatnot, definitely go hobby. Yes, you are spending a little bit more money, but the boxes come sealed, and they're usually coming from wholesale places where they're not messing with the boxes or anything like that. So that's kind of my experiences on those. So
Yeah, for me, I well, if you really get down to it, I don't buy boxes anymore just because uh the odds are not in your favor. So like I know one brand, Panini, they're notorious for not giving or not including the uh the printed number of hits. What they do, say if you buy I don't know, whatever Panini hobby product is out there,
Panini
and
Prism.
yeah, let's say Panini Prism, and it'll say uh, 2 autographs guaranteed, and then right underneath it'll say on average. I got one like a box of Panini. I forgot what it was, and I believe it said 3. It said 2 autographs and 1 uh, relic card, I believe. I only got an autograph and a relic card. I didn't get that second autograph. I've always heard that Panini is notorious for this and this. So I took a chance on it. Sure enough, that's what happened to me. So I'm kind of going off on Panini right now. I'm sorry about that, but the reason I only buy singles now are because I've bought so many boxes of just every product under the sun, and I can probably count the number of big hits on one hand.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, go ahead.
I have noticed, like football and basketball boxes that I've noticed, they don't show the odds, which is really weird. I've noticed that baseball are the only boxes that show the odds. I don't know why that is, but I have noticed that, like at retail level. So I don't I'm not for sure why they do that, but um, I I mean, I'm on the fence a little bit about that, buying boxes and stuff. I like to buy them just because, I get the joy of, cracking the packs open, and just, I want to get that big hit. I'm watching these videos,
Oh yeah.
people pulling big hits, and just, wherever you get that hit, it's just awesome. And, it's an amazing feeling. But, there's one product that I will always buy, and that's his Bowman Chrome. So, to
Oh
me,
yeah.
that's one of the better. To me, I think that's the best product out there. So
It's
just
it's
it's
solid every year.
yeah, that's just my opinion. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you on Bowman Chrome. It's solid every year.
yep,
It's really hard to mess up Bowman Chrome. It's got a simplistic look, and it's the card for rookies. That is the
yep,
card for rookies, no doubt
yep,
about it.
yep.
Um,
Because
do what?
I was just gonna say because people want their first Bowman over their true rookie cards, which I don't know why, but that's just how it is now. So it's just crazy.
Just how it is.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, I mean, if you're into boxes, hobby is probably the way to go because it guarantees hits. But there are some big hits in retail. It's just the odds are not really the same as hobby because it's not guaranteed. It just says like, be sure to look for autographs, be sure to look for a relic card.
Right.
But hobby,
And
you are guaranteed.
9 out of 10 times that on the box it says look for autograph or relic, you're gonna get that relic, and that relic's gonna be of nobody. That relic's gonna be $1, $2 card.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be.
don't let it fool you. And another thing is, if you go out and buy retail and you pull an auto or whatever your first box, well, what are you gonna want to go do? You're gonna go buy more. Don't do it because those next 10, 15 boxes that you get, you ain't gonna get nothing. Just don't do it.
Yeah, the odds are not in your favor. So if you get a big hit, my advice: quit while you're ahead. Because
Exactly. Yeah.
because if that card you pull is a big hit, just like he said, you're gonna get all hyped up and amped up. I want to get more. I can do this. And you go out there and buy 3 more boxes, you just wasted $300 because you probably got $20 worth of cards back. Because
Yep.
you because I bet you, I mean it's happened to me, so I know the odds. You will probably pull a Joe Blow who plays left out, you know. I mean there's no getting around it. They put
Yep.
more Joe Blows in these boxes today than actual stars.
And
It's bad.
so many duplicates. I'll sit there and
Hmm.
open 4 or 5 retail packs or boxes, whatever it might be, and I just get duplicates up on duplicates of these players. I'm like, come on, you guys can do better than this. It's so annoying.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and honestly, it's just yeah, it's just the odds are not in your favor. That's just all I'm gonna say. That's why I buy singles. I know what I'm
Yep.
getting. I'm focusing my energy on that one card. I know what I'm getting. So odds are in my favor that way. Anyway, so the last point, and I think is probably one of the best points that we can make, is don't try to collect everything. It's real easy to do.
Yep. Just start out small. Um, you know, set goals.
Hmm.
Um, set an amount of money that you may want to spend a month. Um, you know, rookies that you want to collect. Do you want to collect rookies? Do you want to collect, players from, certain teams? Do you want to collect a certain player? Do you want to collect relic cards or just don't get caught up in it and just start buying all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. I've done that. I'm so guilty of it.
Go down it. Go go down an avenue and stay straight. Don't veer off to the left or right. And people can do that easily because they get caught up in it because they're buying all these cool cards, or you may see your buddies having these cool cards, of these different sports or different players. You're like, man, I want to do this too because they might be telling you, hey, this guy's going to be, a Hall of Famer, and you're going to take their advice or whatever. Just stick to what you know. It's simple. Don't do any more than that. If you don't know anything about a certain player and all you're seeing is speculation or hype, like we said, Jason Dominguez, sure, that'd be cool to go out and buy his, some of his cards. But why do it? To me, right now, it's a waste of money until he's in the league. He's not going to be in the league probably till another 4 to 5 years. So,
Hmm.
um, you know, that guy that that bought the card at worth $16,000. Let's just say that like we said, he blows his arm or knee out. That card's going to be worth what, $500 maybe? I mean, it's just
Probably less than
crazy.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I can't stress it enough. Just stick to what you know, and just stick down an avenue, and just don't go, buying this and buying that.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple is all I can say.
Yeah, and my advice to this topic is to, like you said, set a goal. Figure out what you want to collect. If it's a player, if it's a team, um, whatever, relic cards, autographs, whatever you want to collect, set that goal. It'll help you stay on that path, just like you said. Also, set a limit of what you're going to spend, because right here, guilty. Whenever I know it's bad,
I
but
know it's fine. It's fine. I'm guilty of it too. We all do it. So we get a little splurge, and we just can't stop. It's hard.
yeah, it
So
is. It is. So, I mean, we were young, dumb. Yeah, I mean, I'm still dumb, but anyway. I mean, there's no getting around it. So anyway, summers of college, whenever I got back into hobby, I worked the baseball field here in town. I got the field ready between games, and all that, and I got paid pretty well for doing not that much work. I mean, it was a lot of work. It was in the middle of summer and all that, but I blew all of my money on cards that I don't even have today.
yeah.
I mean, probably one card actually is a Tim Lincecum card, which is, oh god, that's a different story. But I spent all that money. I blew all that money because I
Yeah.
wasn't disciplined. I didn't have a goal. I was just like, I got all this money now. I can buy cards. And I bought so many cards. But where are those cards today? I don't know. I forgot what I did with them. But I just blew all that money. So if I had a goal, I probably have, a handful of really nice, high valued cards today. But I don't because I didn't have a goal. I didn't set a limit on myself. I wasn't managing my money. I didn't have my mind right. I really didn't. I just,
Yep. So basically, the biggest takeaway, I mean, is just have self control. I know it's hard. Kind of like what I like to do is I like to collect. I'm a big Cubs fan. Yes, I'm sure I'm going to get some backlash for that, but it is what it is. Hey, hey, who won the World Series a couple years ago? I don't want to hear
hey,
it.
we won. Not that long ago too. It
Hey,
only took
hey,
30 years.
yeah. Hey, at least they won in my lifetime. So, anyways, that's a
Yeah,
different story. That's a different story. But I
yeah.
like, I like to collect Cubs. I don't care who it is. I collect them. I like to collect rookies, and I like to go after players that I know that are going to hold value over the long term. So just keep it simple, and it's okay to splurge every once in a while. So we're both guilty of that. But but yeah, just just don't get caught up in a moment. Just keep it simple and smooth selling, and you'll you'll see your money grow over time. And make smart investments. So
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, those are really good points. I think those are pretty good closing remarks, actually. Um, I mean, I think this is a really good spot to end the episode.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I think we hit some really good points. So hopefully, you all think these are some good points to take to heart. Hopefully, we've helped you a little bit. Uh, don't make the mistakes we did. We were young and dumb. Spent a lot of money. Don't have much to show for it now because we bought in Joe Blow cards. Didn't look at any the future value, what they were going for. I mean, just do your research. Just do your research. But guys, be sure to tune in next week. Our next episode, we're going to cover the current 2020 products that have been released so far. We're going to look into basketball, football, and baseball, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yep. I think we're going to hit those next week. So thanks for tuning in, and can't wait to hear from you guys next week.
Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content, and thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
And that's the ball game. Thanks for listening to the C&M Sports Card Talk Show. We want to hear from you. Reach out to us by email at cmsportscardtalkshow@gmail.com or on Twitter under the username CM Sports Show.